All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and they are headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts, and this is their Summer Ale, the 2025 release. So this is a citrus wheat ale, and underneath that on the label it says wheat ale brewed with lime, orange, and lemon peels, grains of paradise, and lemon puree added. It comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume, 8 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 3 months old and also has a best by date of September of 2025. So according to the brewery, we should be more than good to go. So I'm reviewing this one as a shelfie beer for the month of August 2025, and that's because I picked up the Beers of Summer variety pack from Sam Adams. 2 months ago, I reviewed the Blueberry Lager. Last month, I reviewed the American Light. And this month, I'm reviewing this one. I will not be reviewing the Porch Rocker because I already reviewed that one a couple of years back. However, I am re-reviewing this one because of you guys. A lot of you said you wanted to see a review of this or a re-review of it, and I have delivered. And hopefully, I like this one a lot more than I used to because we'll do a little bit of story time. You want to fast forward to the review probably a couple minutes, but I had this one for the first time ever back in the early 2010s. I actually remember I had it at Texas Roadhouse on tap, and it was one of the worst beers I've ever had. I don't know what the case was be. Maybe there was bad, tap lines going on, dirty tap lines. I don't know. However, I had it a little bit after that in a bottle, and I still strongly disliked it. Then I had it again the following year. Just wasn't for me. However, fast forward to 2019, and I reviewed this one for the channel, and I was hoping, a good 6-7 years later, I would enjoy it a little bit more, and I did. However, still not for me. I gave it a 2.75. We're back in the early 2010s. I gave it like a 1 out of 5. A 2.75 out of 5, passable, tolerable, but that's about it. So now fast forward another 6 years, I'm giving it another go, and I'm hoping that I enjoy this one more than I have in the past. I guess we'll see. It says, a bright citrus wheat ale bursting with orange, lemon, lime, and grains of paradise, perfect for any summer day. So I'm going to pour it into the #proper glassware, see what we got going on here. But yeah, so I don't know what to expect. I'm going to go into this one with a honest take like I always do, and I just hope I enjoy it more than I used to. So we're going to pour it into the #proper glassware, and again, hope that this is a little bit better than I remember it being. That's looking real nice in the can. Throw this over here like that. So how does this look in the #proper glassware? Well, it looks like a wheat ale of some sort. So yeah, it has that very bright, vibrant, like orange color, lots of spritzy carbonation. I'll hold up the contraband flashlight momentarily, but almost a 3-finger of this off-white, super, super creamy looking head. A little bit of soap, so there's a couple bigger bubbles, but for the most part, it's not going anywhere. It looks very creamy, very dense, and looks beautiful. Now, I will show you, so yeah, again, in the #proper glassware, I mean, that honestly looks exactly like I would hope the beer would look from Sam Adams. So we're going to try to get the contraband flashlight out here, see if we can get a little bit better look. So yeah, you can see the carbonation is going absolutely nuts through the side there. This does have the little notch at the bottom that promotes the nucleation that promotes the carbonation. But yeah, it has a nice gentle haziness to it as well. As the kind of the chill haze goes away, it is a little bit more transparent. You can see the shadow on my hand, but it has a gentle haze to it. So really nice. We'll pour the rest in here because I did not get all of it in there. Something like that. Yeah, so a little bit of cheat there. Doesn't taste horrible, but again, proper glassware. Showed you 55 times. You could like, fast forward, Joe, go smell it. I know, settle down. I'm on top of it. It has to be for me, and again, thinking back to the prior times I had this, it has to be some kind of combination of the peels, where it has that like pithy, bittering kind of peel sensation, mixing with the grains of paradise. It just smells off-putting. Yeah, it has a little bit like just a generic citrus peel. You could say lemon, you could say lime, you could say orange. You wouldn't be wrong. But mixing with the grains of paradise, it gives me almost I know this is gonna sound bad, but almost like a vomit kind of aroma. I know that sounds terrible, but it does. That's why I remember hating this one. There's only one other beer that ever smelled like that, and it was forget the name of it, but it was a Saranac like winter beer, and it smelled like straight up like bile. Like when you vomit, the bile kind of taste. It was that was probably the worst beer I've ever had, honestly. Just like hands down disgusting. This, not that bad, but it has this musty kind of just like off-putting nose to it. Yeah, there's some citrus here. a brightness to it from the citrus, a little bit of like a weedy sensation. Almost has like a little bit of like a lemonade kind of nose to it. But there's just something going on with that. I think it's the Grains of Paradise because I don't remember having anything, and I'm pretty sure I said this in the prior review, but I don't remember ever having Grains of Paradise outside of some Belgian-inspired beers and some and the summer ale. There's sometimes like Amagang uses them, uses Grains of Paradise, I think, in one or two beers that I've had before. And I don't remember it being as bad as the nose is this one because this is just somewhat off-putting to me. Kind of like body odor. I don't know. Like, whatever. We're going to taste it, and I hope that it is way better tasting than it smells, but we've been here and done that. We'll see. Cheers, everyone. Not terrible. Not terrible. Yeah, I could drink this. And I'm pretty sure that's what I said back in 2019. I could drink this one. It's tolerable. It's passable. I'm not going to give it a failing grade. It's certainly not as bad as I remember it. And harkening back to the early 2010s, that was when I first started getting craft beer. First time I ever had a craft beer was late 2009. I really started getting into it in like the early to mid 2010s. So this was like at the beginning of me trying craft beers. Maybe it was just super off-putting back then. But then again, I had it the following year and still didn't care for it. It's still not a beer that I would seek out. But it's not absolutely horrific. So there's some positives here. Body mouthfeel. Body is a little bit bigger, probably because of the wheat, adding a little heft. This is like lower side of medium. Not really approach medium, we'll say lower side of medium. I remember it being a bit thinner, so a little bit better from that aspect is 5.3%. The mouthfeel is nice. It's crisp, it's effervescent, has like a spritzy carbonation, a little bit higher side of moderate carbonation, but has a nice smoothness from the wheat. Not really creaminess, but a nice smoothness. So I think the body and mouthfeel are actually quite appropriate for this style, this beer as a whole, and I don't dislike the body and mouthfeel. The taste, however, is just very simplistic, subtle, nuanced, and just something where like I could drink this ice cold. Like today was like 86 degrees outside when I'm reviewing this one. I could house this. If it was ice cold, just throw it back. Don't think twice, but there's nothing here winning me over, but at the same time, I want to stress that I don't hate this beer anymore. You know, let's just put that to rest. I do not hate this beer. I probably will never hate this beer. I can appreciate this beer for what it is and what people probably enjoy about it. But for me, this is my least favorite summer seasonal from, I shouldn't even say summer seasonal, least favorite seasonal from Sam Adams. The rest of their seasonals I find better than this. This one is just front to back. There's a nice weedy kind of sensation you expect from a citrus wheat ale. And then there are definitely citrus vibes to this one. I'm getting more of like a lemon peel, lemon rind, even lemonade, like a lemon juice, probably from the puree added. More lemon forward. And again, this is omnipresent front to back. Little underlying orange and lime kind of twangs, tinges. There's a little bit of citrus going on. And then the finish, I get that Grains of Paradise that comes off more as a generic spiciness. This one, pretty sweet up front, finishes with a nice, I'd say, firm dryness. No bitterness really to speak of here. If anything, a very mild bitterness, more dry than bitter. I think it leans a little bit sweeter. I said lemonade earlier, and this is not as sweet as like a lemonade would be with like, you know, a bunch of sugar in it, but has a little bit of a sweeter lemonade kind of vibe from front to back. There, like I said, no bitterness really to speak of. The 5.3% you can't tell. Yeah, this is fine. This is okay. It's tolerable. It's a little bit better than I remember in 2019. So maybe if I review this one 20 years from now, if I'm still alive and YouTube's a thing and the world's all right, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll actually enjoy it by then because every time I try this one, every 6 or 7 years, I like it a little bit more than last time. But gotta call a spade a spade. Still, I would not recommend this one to anybody who has a similar palate to me. And I can't say that I actually like this beer, but it's tolerable and it's all right. So one more sip and I'll lock in a rating. Yeah, it's refreshing, it's crisp, it's clean, it's refreshing. To me, this is like, and I know it's completely different stylistically, but I'm saying as far as like enjoyability factor for myself, it's almost like akin to an American adjunct lager or an American light lager that is crisp, clean, refreshing, somewhat inoffensive. The nose is offensive, but the rest of it inoffensive with a little bit of like a lemon kick to it. Better body and mouthfeel. So Samuel Adams Summer Ale 2025 release. 3 out of 5. I'm not going to do stylistically because, I mean, citrus wheat ale, whatever. It's so generic. Summer ale, generic. It's not like whatever. If you want to go American Pale Wheat Ale with all those adjuncts, give it like a 3.4, 3.5. Fine for what it is. But yeah, 3 out of 5. Price point availability. I bought, again, the Beers of Summer variety pack. That was $19.99 a 12-pack here in the Buffalo, New York area. Probably a little bit cheaper if you're not in New York State. Maybe a little bit more expensive if you're, say, in California or something. But that's kind of the going rate for a 12-pack of really any of their like regular beers, which brings me to 6-packs and 12-packs of this. Same thing, $20 for a 12-pack and 6-packs of this, about $12 in my area. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit pricey. I can get, in my opinion, way better beers for the same price point. So that's why I probably would never seek this one out ever again. And I say that, and I think I said that in the last review back in 2019, but if my channel's still going in like 2030, 2031, I'll probably re-review this one again just for shits and giggles. So yeah, anyway, the price point's fine. Availability of Sam Adams. This is their summer ale. This is their summer seasonal. You should be able to find it everywhere you see Sam Adams. And if you haven't had this one before, I would personally say you're not missing out. However, we all have different palates, different opinions. Beer is subjective. So if you've never had it before and this sounds interesting to you, check it out. Don't be afraid to buy a can of it. You can buy a single or buy a 6-pack. It's worth it. For me, though, I'll take every other seasonal from them over this one, other than maybe their pumpkin ale. I don't know. Their pumpkin ale is very cinnamon heavy. I might have to revisit that at some point. But they're kind of in the same vein where, like, whatever, they're fine as far as like a seasonal goes, but not really for me. So if you've had this one before, I know a lot of you have. You asked me to re-review this, about a half dozen of you in the comment section. Post in the comment section. Let me know. What do you think about this one? Do you find it inoffensive? Do you find it delicious? Do you find it tolerable? Do you find it absolutely horrible? I would love to hear from you. It's the reason I re-reviewed it. I pretty much had a good idea that I wasn't going to love this one, but I do like it a little bit more. I gave it a 3 out of 5 today. 6 years ago, I gave it a 2.75, and then 6 years before that, I gave this beer like a 1 out of 5. So baby steps for this one. Baby steps indeed. So, like I said, not reviewing the Port Rocker. This is the first shelfie beer I'm reviewing for the month of August 2025. And yeah, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Like I said, 5.3%. There is a little bit too from the lemon puree, a very slight like tart acidic thing. Not like you would be drinking a sour ale and you get that like firm tartness or like a mild to moderate acidity. Just a little bit of kiss of like a tartness on the palate with a little bit of acidity. And there's also a salinity here that reminds me of a Goza, even though this is not a Goza. Could just be my stupid palate, and we'll just chalk it up to that. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.